Greetings to you and welcome to this episode of Grace Podcast. I'm Timothy Muse. I'll be your host as we spend this time together today. It's a joy to be with you. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for making this podcast a part of your journey. And indeed, I want to thank you for being on this journey. I want to thank you for being here, for showing up, for being part of the growth that you're bringing for yourself. It's such a joy to know that you are looking at places in your life that need some extra attention and that you're allowing me to come alongside you, to take the opportunity to allow me to bring some wisdom, some guidance, a nugget of knowledge, whatever it is that I can bring to help you on your journey. It is truly an honor to be able to do that, and I want to thank you for allowing me to do that. If this podcast is helpful, please share it out there. Put it out there on your social media feeds. I post on LinkedIn, X, Instagram, and Facebook. If you follow me or the podcast on any one of those feeds, you're going to see this episode pop up. If you are on one of the listening platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music, then follow us. Give us a rating and review. Every positive rating and review tells the platform that people are listening, and you'll get notifications when a new episode comes out. And if you want to reach out to me directly, GraceLifeCoaching.com is the website. It would be awesome to hear from you. If you want to do some coaching, if you got some questions, want to have a dialogue, got some recommendations for a podcast you'd like to hear, please reach out to me. GraceLifeCoaching.com is the website. That's where you can find me. That's where you can get all my contact information. So I want to welcome you back into this series we've been doing on discipline. And the past few episodes, we've defined what discipline is. We've, talked about discipline creates freedom. We used habits, and we talked about habits and how habits shape our life. So today I want to get honest. Let's get honest, because discipline is so powerful. It really, truly is. Why do so many people struggle with it? If discipline is such a powerful thing, why do people struggle with it? Why do we know what to do, but still don't do it? Why do we start off strong, but only to fall off? Why does that happen? We can talk in our head about discipline, but what is the issue? Why do we struggle with it? And why do we start off and then come crashing down? So I want to unpack the real reason behind the lack of discipline. And more importantly, how we can fix this, how we can make discipline a part of our ritual that helps us to grow and expand. So let's start with something that might surprise you a little bit. Most people don't lack discipline. It's not lacking discipline when people struggle with moving forward. They lack clarity. Clarity is such an important partner of discipline. If you're not clear with what you want, you won't stay consistent. If you're not clear about where you want to go, what you want to achieve, what the ultimate goal is, you won't stay consistent. If your goals are vague, then your actions will be inconsistent. That's the truth. Think about this. If you say, I want to be healthier, that's your goal. I want to be healthier. What does that actually mean? Healthier has such a complexity of things. Losing weight, better nutrition, better sleep patterns. So to have a vague goal, to have a vague statement lacks consistency because you don't know what you're aiming for. You can't build a life of discipline around vague understandings. You have to have clarity. If you say, I want to be successful, well, successful is a very subjective term. For some people, successful is being able to pay the bills and have peace at night. For other people, successful is being able to travel the world. For other people, successful is not having to work at all or having a boatload of money. So when you say, I want to be successful, what does that look like? Again, discipline doesn't grow in vagueness. It grows in clarity. Without clarity, your brain doesn't know what to prioritize. So it defaults on what's easy. It defaults on what's the easiest. So we need clarity in order to help our brains to prioritize what is most important. Where there's no clarity, there's no consistency. And that's really the important thing. It's about building that clarity. It's about figuring out what you want. And then when you figure out what you want, being able to build the discipline around it. That is the thing. So here's the fix. We get specific. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, which again is very vague, being specific. What does healthier look like for you? Be specific in that expectation. I will walk 20 minutes a day. I will drink my body weight in water, or half my body weight in water. And actually, that's usually kind of the marker, is half your body weight in ounces of water per day or ounces of liquid per day. I will eat better. I will remove the snacks that draw me down the path of eating poorly. Again, those are clarity. That is specific, and you can build discipline around specificity, but you can't build discipline around vague unclear goals. If you say, I want to be productive. Okay, well, what does productive look like? Productive, again, can be so many different things. I will, rather than that, say, I will complete my top task before checking my phone. All right. I want to be productive, so I will complete my top task before I check my phone. All right. So now you have a goal. Now you have clarity, and you can build that clarity, because clarity creates direction. Direction creates discipline. See how they're intertwined. If we don't know where we're going, if we don't have a clear picture of where we're going, we can't be disciplined in getting there. So when we create that clarity, when we create that vision of where we want to go, we can build the discipline to get there in a way that is productive and is achievable. So discipline is not the issue. We all have discipline. It's about creating that clarity. It's about becoming clear with where we want to go. But see, here's the struggle. Here's the challenge. We live in a world of immediate access. We live in a world of instant gratification. And instant gratification can steal your discipline. It really can. We get food in minutes. We get entertained instantly. We get answers in seconds, okay? So while that's convenient, while that's wonderful, and I wouldn't go back to it. I grew up in a time when you needed information, you had to go to the library and get a dictionary and leaf through the dictionary or leaf through the encyclopedia and find that thing. We didn't have Google. We didn't have MapQuest, or when you had to plot a trip, you had to get a map out and look at the map and find all those different things. The immediate access of today's knowledge and information stream is incredible, and I love it. I really, truly do. However, one of the problems with that, one of the downside of that, is that it trains your brain to expect quick rewards. It trains your brain to expect things now. Instant gratification, though it is wonderful, it steals your discipline, because it trains your brain to expect to get information right now, to get answers right now, to get results right now. Well, that's great for some things, but when we're looking at marking big goals and making changes, we have to delay that gratification. Discipline, on the other hand, is about delayed gratification. And delayed gratification is something that we really struggle with as a people, as a culture, as a system. We really struggle with delayed gratification. We want to do something now, get the reward now. That's how our brains work. That's what we want. But in reality, if we want to be disciplined and achieve our goals, we have to do something now for a reward later. That's what delayed gratification is all about. It's about doing something now. It's about committing an action now that will have rewards later. There's the tension. Your brain is wired to choose what feels good now, not what benefits you later. Your brain is wired for that instant gratification, and the influx of knowledge and access has only rewired our brains even more to demand and yearn for that instant, that feel good now, that get it now. But discipline and goal setting is about rewiring our brain to look for the benefit later. So when you're faced with a choice, work out or stay comfortable, focus or scroll, spend money or save money, your brain naturally leans towards the easier option. And our brains want to be so efficient. They want to be so efficient. They want to save energy so much that they will always lean towards the option that will save energy. So that efficiency will always lean towards easier now. So what's the fix in this? Well, you create small delays. We have to retrain our brain to accept delays. Before acting on impulse, pause, wait 5 minutes, take a breath, ask, will this move me forward or hold me back? That small pause interrupts that automatic behavior. When we think about eating, I want to be healthier, I want to eat better. I'm feeling stressed or I'm feeling hungry. So rather than going to that immediate thing, that bag of chips, that candy bar, that bag of cookies, because they're easier, recreate your brain to say, okay, I need to eat, and eating is not a bad thing, but I'm going to eat carrot sticks or celery, but I have to prepare them. So discipline grows when we can create that space between impulse and action. All right. So that small pause, whatever that is, creates that interruption of the automatic behavior because our brain wants to work automatically. That is the most efficient thing to do. So discipline can grow in the space between impulse and action. So pause. You know what? I'm hungry. So pause. Wait 5 minutes. You're not gonna fall out in 5 minutes. Wait 5 minutes. What am I hungry for? Am I truly hungry? Maybe I just need to drink a glass of water. Maybe I'm bored and I need to get up and move around. Create a pause between impulse and action. That's where discipline expands and grows. We're disciplined when we can stop those impulsive thoughts and recreate a direction with a better action, one to the other, moving from immediate gratification or instant gratification to delayed gratification, because we have our goals. We have our expectations and we want to reach them. So work towards that goal, work towards that expectation, and create that pause between impulse and action. Another big thing that trips people up is willpower. This is another big mistake. People rely on willpower. They think, if I just try harder, I'll be more disciplined. If I just try harder, I'll be more disciplined. Willpower is a lot like motivation, okay? Willpower is limited. It fades throughout the day. It weakens under stress, and it disappears when you're tired. Okay, we can have the best willpower that is when we wake up in the morning because we're filled with energy and filled with drive and filled with expectation and filled with plans. But as those things break down, as stress shows up, as the schedule changes, as issues arise, our willpower fades. It fades throughout the day because our energy levels fade throughout the day. Our brain is firing the greatest first thing in the morning because it's had all that rest and all that rejuvenation. But as the day goes on and we take all this input in, our brain gets tired and our willpower fades throughout the day. So if your discipline depends on willpower, it won't last, because you won't have that willpower. That's the thing. Discipline isn't based on willpower. Discipline is based on action and thought that doesn't depend on willpower. It stands aside from willpower. So if we're depending on willpower to get us going and keep us going, it's going to fade. And it's going to be a mistake because willpower is limited. Discipline is limitless. All right. So when we're looking at willpower, we have to move beyond willpower to something else. So how do we fix this? How do we deal with this? Build systems, not just effort. Okay, build systems, not just effort. So instead of saying, I will avoid junk food, all right, I will avoid junk food, which, there's a lot of junk food out there. 75% of our food chain is processed. So there's a lot of easy go-to, really high, bad for us things that come in a bag or a box that we can just open up and eat. And we can wake up in the morning and we can see that bag of chips in the cupboard and we can say, you know what, I'm going to have the willpower not to eat that today. But by the end of the day, we're eating the bag of chips. Why is that? Because our willpower faded, because our strength faded. So how to change the system, how to build a better system? Remove it from your environment. You're not going to eat the chips if they're not going to be there. Don't tempt yourself. Don't put yourself in that test to say, well, I want to see what kind of test I am. No, just remove it. I've heard so many people say, I quit smoking, but I keep a pack of cigarettes in my desk drawer or in my dresser drawer. It's kind of a lifeline or a pinch. You know what? If they're there, you're going to smoke them. You will. Ultimately, whatever willpower you're working with is going to fade and you're going to smoke them. Remove them from your environment. If you want to stop eating junk food, then go through your cabinets and get rid of your junk food. Because most of the time, junk food is a response thing. We think about it, we respond, we eat them. We don't plan on it. It's like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to eating those chips tonight for my dinner. No, it's an impulsive thing. When we can take away that impulsive action, we can build a system that has discipline. So it's like, hey, it's 8:00 at night and I'm hungry and I could go to the cupboard and there's no bag of chips. There's an apple in the bowl. I'm going to eat the apple because I'm hungry and I want something. And the apple is a better choice, but you're making that choice for yourself when you have the discipline. Build that system. Instead of saying, I will wake up early, set your clothes out the night before. Get ready to go. Get ready. Build that system so you can be up and you can get moving. Instead of saying, I will focus more, create a distraction-free space. If focus is your issue, if you have distraction because there's so many things going on, create a distraction-free space. Create a space where you can actually live. Build the system that you can live into. Make good habits easy and bad habits hard. If you want to be disciplined, make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Discipline becomes easier when your environment supports it. So build the environment that you want the discipline for. It's simple. It's a simple concept, but it's hard to do because, again, we've always had that bag of chips in the cupboard. Maybe we don't eat them every day, but they've always been there. Discipline becomes easier when your environment supports it. So create the environment, the system that's going to support your discipline. And look, sometimes discipline is not laziness. That can look like it. I'm just being lazy. It's avoidance. Laziness, there are some people who are lazy. Most people aren't lazy. They're just avoidant. They don't want to face what's going on in front of them. They want to avoid discomfort or fear of failure, or feeling overwhelmed or feeling inadequate. So distraction comes the key. When we want to avoid something, we distract. We distract with scrolling. We distract with procrastination. We distract with delay. I can't really even say the word distract right now. That's kind of funny. Not because we don't care, but because we don't want to feel uncomfortable. We don't want to feel uncomfortable. Avoidance feels safe, but it keeps us stuck. All right. We don't want to feel uncomfortable, so we avoid. That's a very common emotional response. We don't want to feel uncomfortable, so we avoid. So we want to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Start small. Do one thing each day that stretches you. Maybe make the call that you've been avoiding. Start the project that has been just in your brain. Have the conversation that has been gnawing at you. Take the first step. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to move. That's what happens. Growth begins where comfort ends. So when we can get out of that comfort zone, when we can get out of that wanting to be comfortable and being comfortable with being uncomfortable, I know it's a conundrum, but when we're okay with being uncomfortable, that's where discipline and growth happens. So we want to be uncomfortable and allow that uncomfort to move us. And it also helps us to focus on, one of the big mistakes that comes about, and that is the all or nothing trap. There's that thing too, that all or nothing trap. And this is a big one. People think discipline means perfection. Got to be perfect. If I'm going to be disciplined, I'm going to be perfect. But that's not the case. So when they miss a day, they quit entirely. It's like, I'm going to go to work out. I'm going to work out every day. They miss a workout. Well, might as well stop because my discipline isn't perfect. I broke my routine. I'll start again next week. And just like that, momentum is gone. Okay. Discipline isn't being about perfect. It's not all or nothing. It's not all or, if I can't do it perfectly, I'm not going to do it at all. If I can't do it perfectly, I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. No, we want to move away from that. We want to move away from connecting discipline with perfection because it's not there. Adopt the never miss twice mindset. That's a good way to fix that. Adopt the never miss twice mindset. You'll mess up. You will. You'll miss a day. That's normal. I mean, if you're looking to build a daily routine of something, whether it's working out or, calling people or drinking more water, you're going to mess up. You're going to miss a day. So adopt a never miss twice mindset. Because if you let one mistake become a pattern, then you're going to fail. Consistency isn't perfection, it's persistence. So adopt that, never miss twice. Whatever it is, whatever you're looking to recreate, whatever habit, whatever goal you're looking to recreate, the never miss twice mindset. I missed a workout today. That's fine. It happens, but I'm not going to miss tomorrow. I will make it a higher priority. I missed calling my friend today, but I'm not going to miss tomorrow. I will make it a higher priority. This is where discipline comes in, not in perfection, but in persistence, and not in shame. It's like, what? I missed a workout today. It's been busy. I don't feel good. There's a lot going on. It's okay. I'm not going to shame myself. I'm just going to make it a priority for tomorrow. I'm not going to miss tomorrow. So ask yourself, my friends, what's really holding you back? Is it lack of clarity? Is it instant gratification? Is it poor systems? Is it avoidance? Is it perfectionism? And what is one step you can do to move forward? I want you to remember something. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. So where do you lack clarity? What is the thing that's holding you back right now from engaging that discipline? What is that thing that is holding you back from engaging yourself into the next step? Find it. Find it. Stay consistent, stay intentional. Never miss a second day. If you're working on something today and you don't do it tomorrow, don't miss it the next day. Keep pressing forward. Have that persistence. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to keep you moving forward. That's what I got for today, my friends. I hope this is helpful. If it is, please share it out there. Put it out there on your social media feeds. Put it out there on the listening platforms. And if you want to reach out to me directly, gracelifecoaching.com is the website. I would love to hear from you, because at Grace Life Coaching, we want you to be the best you.